to actually do an interview for you. Like I remember there was a girl from Pretoria in our year, Jenny. She actually called me earlier this year about this guy from the Bulls who was allegedly killing people and massacring them. She called me because she wanted to do an article on that for the Star. She called me and asked me to like sort of go out on the story for her and get her some information, do some interviews about around that story. And so when I gave her, I did that for her and I sent it through. She actually got a front page lead as a result of the information that I had added to her story. So it's very important to build a network amongst yourselves, because it's not just about like meeting other people. It's also about meeting each other and knowing what other people within your group can do and what value they can add to you as a person. Another person, Mina, she's from here in Rhodes. She was really like big on business journalism. I was like, I had never even thought of business journalism as a field within journalism. And subsequently, I'm finding myself writing more about business and focusing more on economic journalism as a result of that. So it's very important for you as people to sort of share those kind of ideas, share those kind of experiences, and not only look to people that are coming in from outside to sort of teach you, or to look to people that are out in the field. Also look amongst yourself to see what you can do. Okay, what's the next thing I need to speak about? Okay, what I'm doing now, I am currently interning at Media 24, but here I'm in my capacity as a BBC journalist. And I'm also working on my first documentary. It's called The Uprising. It's not about politics. I'm not big into politics. It's about like the emergence of the alternative art scene in Durban. So that's what I'm currently working on right now. And yeah. That's it. Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, question. Can you just give me your name because I don't know everyone's name?
My name is from TT. You said something about business writing, like business journalism. Like, can you explain like what you experience and how is that field of journalism in terms of business writing?
Business journalism is probably one of the most like unique experiences that you can have being a business journalist. Because it's not like politics where it's like raw and hard, but business journalism, it's sort of, you have to rely very much on the subtext of what is happening. For example, I was doing the story on the tax industry in Durban, formalizing the tax industry in Durban, if that is like a viable thing. So as the story was, the tax industry is going formal. They're going to be registering their employees, they're going to be formalizing the registry. But also, as a business journalist, what you have to do is sort of look into the subtext of that. What does that mean for people that are working in the industry? What does that mean for the transport industry? What do stakeholders in that industry have to say? What ramifications does that have for taxi wars in Durban and places like that? So business journalism, what I would say is, it's just about looking into the subtext of economic decisions. What kind of impact does it have for the masses? But also, what kind of impact does it have for the bottom line of the people that are in those various businesses? Business journalism is just about looking at the subtext and impact.
Did you do some sort of commerce in high school, or you do physics and all that stuff? Because sometimes I find out that if one is to do business journalism, some of them tend to struggle because they're not exposed to it in high school, so they kind of find it challenging and difficult to sort of explore that field of journalism. Was it difficult for you?
I have to say it was very challenging initially because, one, I hate numbers. So when you're a business journalist, you are going to be dealing with numbers whether you like it or not. Because one of the things that I noticed about business journalism in South Africa is that it tends to be too academic. It's not accessible to the masses. So what you have to do as a person, as a business journalist, is sort of break it down so that a person picking up the newspaper in the streets can be like, okay, I understand this. This is quite simple. So I personally did not do economics or accounting in high school. I was lucky that I had a very flexible school. I did science and I did a little bit of arts. And so it was very challenging for me heading into the field of business journalism. And fortunately, I was mentored by a guy called David Whiteman. He was a former editor of the Mercury. And what he told me about business journalism is that it's not just about the figures, but like I said, it's about the ramifications of things. So I will not lie to you, it is very difficult to start out as a business journalist without some sort of economic knowledge. It's very important for you to know things. It's very important for you to know legislations. things like that. Do your research, and that's one of the things that I cannot emphasize enough. Do your research. There is nothing more embarrassing than a person saying, I'm going to a conference and they don't even know what it's about. They don't even know who's going to be there. They don't even know what's on the table for discussion. So do your research as much as possible. Gain as much knowledge as possible before you go out and do a story, especially in the world of business journalism, because it's very, very technical.
Did you end up like doing a short course on business aspects of books, like just to know more instead of like studying like a crash course like on business?
As part of like the Media 24 Cadet School, there is a training period where I specifically did the business journalism and the reporting article program. So that was like it sort of bridged the gap between me not knowing anything and sort of just getting into it. So that's one of the things that I did. But I don't know if you guys like in your BTech programs, because some of you are from University of Technology, in your BTech programs, I think like some of the institutions that I know like are going to be introducing more business journalism programs. I know that DUT is upgrading its business journalism program next year, and so hopefully I'll also like to be a part of that. But also just find out about these things. But also with your lecturers, you'd be very interested to find that some of them have a very strong background in business journalism. Even if you're not going to do it as a formal course, but it's always good to have that interaction with people who are in the industry to sort of guide you in the right track.